The drug crisis in Behchokǫ is getting worse. Leaders in the community are seeing it themselves, and they're concerned drug trafficking has gone too far.
Because these people are doing it in daylight, broad daylight. They're coming and going, you know? And so we need to meet it with force, in my view. And I am looking at, again, whether I can declare a state of emergency and to banish people.
People in the community say they're seeing prostitution, elder abuse, theft, and even children being sent to run drugs. There's also concerns that vulnerable people's homes are being taken over by drug dealers. As far as what's actually in the drug supply, here's what we know. According to public health officials, the most consumed illegal drug in Behchokǫ is crack cocaine, but wastewater testing shows a lot of other illicit substances, like potentially deadly opioids.
People may be buying straight opioids, but typically what we've seen is more that the cocaine is contaminated. And so if they're not aware and they're using a stimulant, they may experience an overdose and not be prepared. So the best advice for Behchokǫ is you don't know what's in your drug supply.
Public health doesn't track non-fatal overdoses at the community level, but it confirmed that over roughly the past 5 years, 110 visits to treatment centers have been from Behchokǫ residents. Some of them have been from Jordan Wanaze. He moved to Calgary for better supports after going there for treatment for the third time earlier this year.
Yeah, you have a choice to pick up or not, but it's just the boredom. Well, for me, it was the boredom. So when you get back to Behchokǫ, you have no housing support or programs, like you just put like being homeless or staying with family members or friends, couch surfing.
Now Wanaze is doing construction safety training and wants to help others get sober. Everyone recognizes that healing is an important part of addressing the drug crisis, but the chief of Behchokǫ also wants to do something about drug trafficking itself. Some of her ideas include a security force, neighborhood watches, and banishment.
We could do so much things. I have a lot of ideas, and it doesn't need to be big, but community people need to feel they're part of the solution and part of the action group that's going to, work together to combat this issue. These are our own people.
Another thing that could help is some legislation that the territory has been working on. The Trespass Act, scam legislation, and the Civil Forfeiture Act could make it easier for authorities to intervene when there's suspected trafficking.
Yeah, there's more that needs to be done, especially from health and social services and housing, to help improve the situation in small communities. But that legislation is a tool that we can use to help clean up our communities.
For now, though, the chief doesn't want to wait. She expects to start community engagement for her strategy in September. St-Pierre, CBC News, Yellowknife.
You just heard from Behchokǫ's chief about the drug problems in her community. Here's more from Chief Bertha Rabesca about what she's facing.
Nobody is taking on the drug dealers at all. The police are doing what they can, but the bigger drugs is a lot of times where they're focusing, right? And heavy traffic in by itself is not enough to convict. Understand that. And so because nobody is taking on the drug dealers in our community, and I'm sure every community, I'm taking it on as a chief. Understand the risk associated with that, but somebody has to. And so I need to mobilize and plan on how I'm going to do that.
Do you feel like you have the resources available to do all this?
No. There is no resources to combat drug dealers. And by declaring a state of emergency, I really don't know what that would entail. So we need to look at that, whether that's something that both governments are prepared for, but just in general, what does that mean? If a community declares a state of emergency, for natural disasters like wildfires, yeah, that can be easily done because it's in legislation. But for drugs and all the drug problems we're having in our community, What would that mean if I declare a state of emergency? That's what we need to look at.
Do you think people feel safe right now?
No. That was one of the things that people kept telling me last year during the election. They don't feel safe.
Rabesca is a lawyer. She says she understands what kind of evidence police need to prosecute drug traffickers. As you heard, she believes police are doing what they can. She also recognizes that healing will have to be a big part of the picture.